So I finished with design options. So design options means you can create several different projects in the same project. So it means you can later go through your design options and select the best one. Next important thing for future workplaces is generative design, artificial designs. So in here you can see example how the generative design works, and it automatically calculates best solution for your project, and you can select best option, in this case restaurant case study. So it means maybe choose best table positions in your restaurant and so on. So generative design is interesting thing, and yeah, maybe we need like extra course for such thing to understand how it works. Next part is phasing. So each project can have different phases, like I showed in Lifecycle circle. So we have different phases. So a project also can have phases. So basically in typical templates, we have existing working drawings, learning content, so different phases. Also, we can have existing, demolished, new, and temporary buildings, so we can be represented like these ones. Another part is warnings. So also I will use warnings to check if your project is according to standard requirements or doesn't have critical errors. So I will check errors in your project designs. And another important part is Dynamo. Dynamo is visual programming language for Autodesk applications. It's similar to Grasshopper application, and with these Dynamo scripts you can create interesting things, create complex models. So it basically works, you put these boxes, connect boxes with each other, and create logical formulas for the program to create interesting shapes and do some automation in your project. So how to use Dynamo? Also, I recommend to learn about Dynamo and try to implement Dynamo. In my course, we will not learn how to use Dynamo, but I highly recommend to train and practice on Dynamo and how Dynamo can help you on your projects. So you can check video tutorials, getting started, and so on. So it's a very powerful tool. And in some companies, if you go to work, you need to know how to do Dynamo scripts. Next part, add-ins. So add-ins, Autodesk has add-ins shop. In this add-ins shop, you can find a lot of useful tools for which can help you improve your work performance. So I can select Revit. I can click search for add-ins in Revit. I can select Revit 2023, free apps. And in here I can choose which apps I would like to use for my projects. Best rated apps, I can choose most downloaded apps, and in here you can see which tools is in the list. In our practice, we now actively use DiRoots tool. So it's a free application, and it has a lot of powerful tools for project management and creating drawings and other things. You can export information to Excel, you can color in your project and do a lot of interesting things on your project. So regarding other tools, you can go to class notebook, and in the class notebook, recommended applications, content library, and recommendations. And in here you can see Revit apps, and in here you can find tips for some Revit applications. Here are the links and other small descriptions, and also you can find the apps which I recommend to use in Planary application. Okay, I should activate my clock. So in Planary application, you can find these additional apps in the list of software lists. So I click Find. And software, BIM execution plan. So additional apps listed here, additional tools. So DiRoots, Magic Join, very nice tool. Revit plugin, ProdLib, library package, Enscape, and other useful tools. If you have elevators in your projects or escalators, you can use this nice app, which is called Digara, and it has nice elevator models which you can download and put inside your project. You select basic elevator manufacturer and you put your elevator inside your project. So in here, let's say we see elevator in low detail level, LOD 100, and I can increase level of details and can have detailed model. So in here, the detail model is increased, and you see the program automatically creates all the components of the elevator, and now the level is 300. All metal elements, all the wires and other things, all the mechanical parts. And if you want, you can put escalators also inside the project. And you can see results like this one. Okay, quantification. So these tools are for taking quantities out of Revit. And another important part is BIM interoperability tools. So I will use a checking tool, and I will check your project quality. So in here, I will use setup tool. I will choose Revit best practice. And now I save and close and run, check the model, run report. And we'll see if the model is designed based on best practice of Revit use. And if it will find some errors or mistakes, it will give me some notification. And I can provide you some feedback regarding this part. Also, you can see the same tools in your application, so you can run the same checks on your models before you upload your models to the platforms. You can check, maybe fix some drastic errors, and later upload the fixed model. And based on the project size, it can take some time to get the results. Okay, so let's jump to our task list in the scope. Okay, so now it's right. It's not responding, but we need to be patient. Sometimes it just needs to, some time to finish calculations.
But what we check the connections or
it checks some rules, which is called best practice of Revit. So this checklist is created by Autodesk. So it checks if models are correctly maybe designed. You have objects maybe joined, not in the same place or something like that. Later we can just open the settings part and then see the checking rules. And of course, each user can create its own rules. Company can create rules, and it can check the design model. Okay, it's working. Okay. So this, like you see, this project is from Autodesk sample project, and the model quality based on Autodesk rules, it's only 58%. So in here we can see what are the problems. So it ran 8 checks. So it ran file size, warnings. So in here we have 4 warnings, loadable families, and the problems, I think, project settings. So in here I see 0 points or 0%. So it means some errors I have. Project location, and so the problem is project location. Also, next datum. So in here we have problem with level and grids on wrong work set. Also view checks. So in view checks we can see also what is the problem. We don't have specific view for Navisworks. And in here we can see duplicate model elements. Okay, checked. And we have some errors with system families. And the program nicely shows what is the problem, and you can locate this object inside your program. If I click this symbol, it zooms into the object, and here I have the object, and I can cut it out from my model. And in here I can see the object is not connected maybe to the pipes and something like that. So it means it's not completed. And I can export here.
are we going to
Piping and other parts? No, because it's quite complicated part.
I saw finally
In plenary, we have pipes. If we go down here, so we have a section in the bottom part of all the pipings and other things, but they are just for presentation. We have MEP part, like mechanical, like this, all the pipes, cooling systems and other things, but they don't have the card in the week, so it means they don't have any work related to this.
We can apply them.
Yes, if you want to practice a little bit to create some sketch of pipes, yeah, of course it's not limited. You can try these tools, yeah, but basically we concentrate to main building elements like site plan, foundations, walls, floors, stairs, and documentation preparation. So if you have, let's say, extra time, you can try to simulate some heating, ventilation, electricity, and other components. And I think in later courses, our students have additional courses for engineering systems, like plumbing or something like that. So I think if you have nice architecture project, you can use it in later courses and implement the systems in other courses. Now regarding the main view, okay, and modify tools. So modify tools, as I mentioned, is basic like in AutoCAD, rotate, move, align, and so on. So I recommend to use the same shortcuts in both programs. If you use trim for trimming objects, so you should use the same short command in Revit and AutoCAD. So if you work, it's easy to remember the one command, not several commands. Now regarding setup on the main window, so I recommend to make separate section for this project browser, because project browser can be a short version, or if you want, you can expand all parts, and it has a lot of elements in here. So it shows all the structure of your project. So it's the same like in Windows. Yeah, you can just go inside and have a large structure in your Windows application. So the same logic is in the project. So all the data, what is inside project, is shown in this project browser. Now properties. I like to put properties on this location. Some of my colleagues like to put properties on the right side. So it depends which version you want. And properties also is good to have a lot of area, because if you select object, it has a lot of element information. So like I mentioned, each BIM project has graphical representation of object, so it means geometry like lines, boxes, other 2D, 3D shapes, descriptive information, so information about object. So we have instance object information, and also we have information type information. So what is the manufacturer of object, all other warranty parameters, and a lot of other things are in these tables. So all these tables is like Excel integrated inside the AutoCAD application. So it means it has a lot of different columns and cells with information. And documentation. So documentation goes like drawings and extra documents for describing the project. So you can attach documents to your main project and get the results. Now in the main view, if I look to the 3D view, in the bottom part, I also have this modification tool for each view. So I can choose scale for each view. If I choose too big scale, so lines are too thick, so it means I need to choose the right scale. Next part is detail level. If I choose coarse level, so I can see my facet object is simplified just from line, and I don't see any catches here. Medium level provides more detail, and fine level gives also much more detail, but in this case I don't see difference because objects doesn't have too much detail components inside, so it depends also from how the library object is created. Now from the tools which are here, so here we can say how we want to see object. We can select wireframe, hidden lines, we can choose shaded. My recommendation to use consistent colors. If you use shaded, you can get some problems because shades will create images like raster drawings, and if you export the project to specific formats, maybe PDF, DVF formats, it will convert object not in the vectoral graphic, but in the raster graphic, and you will see raster elements in your drawings. So consistent colors is good solution. Some students like to use realistic representation and like to see the material and so on, but in this case realistic representation takes more power from your graphical card, and sometimes it can slow down your modeling process. So me personally, in practice, I use consistent colors most of the time. And if I use realistic, so realistic can convert some objects like show the humans, show the trees, like the trees. If I go back to consistent colors, they look not so nice, but the work progress is faster. Next part, I can turn on, turn off the sun. And I can see how the sun is going through my project. So if the location of project is set correctly, so I can see the sun path and so on. Also, I can turn on the shadows. I can see how shadows are going through my building. If I change sun position, also I can see the location of shadows in different position. Rendering tool, as I mentioned, rendering tool, it's complicated in Revit, so my recommendation is to use Enscape, and Enscape will give you better results. Crop view, so I can crop my view with cropping tools, and I can select only the part which I want to see in my drawing. So let's say I want to see only the wind turbines in my drawing. I click double mouse wheel and I have wind turbines in my drawing like here. If I want to go back, I just turn off the cropping tools. So I can do it in the properties, or I can do it in the bottom part, and it goes like that. So rotating mouse wheel zooms in, zoom out in the 3D model. If I click shift tool, shift button, and click mouse wheel, the model will rotate along the axis. If I select object, it should rotate along the selected object. If I double tap the mouse middle wheel, so it zooms out object. What else? If I click middle mouse button, it pans, so moves object to the sides. So these are the basic 3D navigation tools. Also, you can use this cube to select top view, side view, left view, front view. And my recommendation is to use several views. So you go to views, title views, and zoom all. So it means on one side I have my 3D model, and on another side I can have my other views like floor plans, let's say site And if I select something in this location, it automatically selects here. And of course, if I delete something in one location, it deletes from my project. So Revit model is all things are related, linked. And if you modify object in one location, it automatically modifies in all your views, all your settings. So this is also the difference with AutoCAD. In AutoCAD, if you change one object and it just changes this object and it doesn't change other views or drawings. Of course, depending how the AutoCAD drawing is created. Okay, what's else? So navigation. Now about file section here. So here I can use new project. So I can create new project, new family, new concept mass, new title block, and new annotation symbol. I can open cloud model. If I work in Autodesk Cloud, I can open simple project. I can open family. I can open Revit file. I can open building component file. I can open EFC file, EFC options, and I can open Revit Autodesk sample model files from here. Also save, you just save your progress, and save as, you can save the model in the cloud as the new project, as family, as template. Also, you can save some components to the library. So you can save families, you can save groups, you can save views from your project. Export possibilities. So CAD formats, you can export to AutoCAD drawing. You can export to DXF drawing. So DXF is the brother of AutoCAD, DVG file, and DXF is open source file format. If you open DVG with text editor, you will see some code which is hidden. If you open the same drawing with DXF file in text editor, you will see nice numbers, text, and you can modify data and get results. So practically you can create a drawing just modifying text lines and the drawing will be changed. DGN file is for collaborating with Bentley Systems MicroStation. OBJ file is to export files for 3D printing and sharing 3D geometry. SAT file is for sharing data with mechanical programs like Inventor, SolidWorks, and so on. STL is similar to OBJ. I'm not sure about the differences. Maybe we need to check internet regarding this type of difference. Export. So for printing the drawings, you should not use print tools. You should use export tools. Print tools is old tools which is not so nicely designed, and I'm not sure why, but designers of Revit decided not to upgrade the printing tools, but they just create PDF file, separate tool for creating PDF files. So my recommendation, from all the programs, you should first create PDF file. So it means from Word, Excel, AutoCAD, and so on. You create PDF file, and later you use PDF editor or reader, and you print it using this application. You will get the best quality. Another one, DVF file. So DVF is similar to PDF, but DVF was designed by Autodesk for design views transfer for the internet pages. So this is nice format, but not so popular. FBX format is to share data between Autodesk products. So you can export FBX to 3D Max to make nice animations and 3D modeling design for movies and so on. or for high professional renders. You can export family types. Now it's gray because I'm not in family editor. You can export TFC settings. You can export all your model into database. So it means you can create a database of your project. You can export walkthroughs like animation, solar study, and export images. Also, you can export schedules and room area and some reports. Also, you can export mechanical electrical piping fabrication job. So it means you can export it, and in other program, these elements are converted to real models, real project objects, which can be later implemented back in the Revit model. And also you can export DVG settings, DGN settings, and EFC settings for sharing with your colleagues and in other projects. Also, you can use printing tool, so you can print one document, you can print batch documents, you can see printing preview and print setup. So in this case, printing or printer is recommended to use mainly if you have plotter. So here we have plotter on our table. So large machines to print drawings. So for these large machines, plotters, you can use printer option. For our design, we mainly create design digitally. So PDF is virtual printer. So we will use PDF instead of simple printing. And close, you can just close the project and you don't need to close the Revit. Because each time you close Revit, starting Revit takes time. So you just close the model and Revit is still active and you can open the model. Okay, so I will sign into my profile. Okay, now let's see how to start new project. So each time with any program you start the new project, the new thing, you should start from using the right template for your project. I know students and some practitioners use this practice. They open existing project, existing model, they save it as new project and continue modeling or doing the work on the new project, on the old project. In this case, if you have any issues, problems on old project, all these problems will be in the new project. So the best way is to create new project from fresh, clean template, and you can import, insert needed components in the new project later. So now our project is also has some templates. So templates are located in Trimble Connect. I will try to update it to the latest 2023 version. So templates are located in the folder documentation, and here we have templates. So students should choose template based on language. So it means course project, name, surname, project A. And some of you noticed what I made some changes in the file naming. So I can jump back in Planary and give you additional comments what was changed. So for several years I didn't change the file name, but now from practice I see what the file name should be updated. In this location I put the code of our project, so it means this represents maybe the course code of our course, and this part represents year 22, and our project starts from 09, so from September. So now this code represents project number. In other examples, I was asking students to write just project number, like this one, these words, but now I think more data is from this information. If we compare just these words like project number, it's not so informative. Now this data gives me a lot of information. What is the course code, when the project started, student project number, student surname, name, work type, group number. So now all these elements give some information about project. So these are updates regarding file naming.
What about the student task number? Are they given or?
Yeah, so student task number should be taken from so maybe I can take these numbers from Excel list. So I will make a nice print screen with all the list. Okay, so here is the list of students, and the student number is here. Okay. If you don't see your in this list, so let me know. I will just update the document. Okay, new text, editing, and list, and task number. So now here you have the numbers, and use these numbers in the end of the file naming. Okay.
Just for example, 1 or
01, yeah. 2 symbols represent number, 2 symbols. So it's also written here, student number, we see 2 symbols. Like I mentioned, revision should be used if you are saving files in Windows Explorer. If you move files inside Trimble Connect or other cloud solution, like OneDrive or other platforms, you don't need revision, because revision is automatically assigned by the program. So if I go to the Trimble Connect and look to the folder, shared folder, and if I select, let's see what are the results. So from here, and if I select document, I can see versions, and I see version 1, version 2. So the program automatically puts revisions here. So it means this this name should be modified a little bit.
the 01
yeah, 0, 0, 0 should be in this position, and 0 should be deleted. And yeah, and in this location should be a dash, simple dash number. So I will create to do, add to do, and file name, fix file name, and assign
I will change it now.
Okay. So I'm just showing you how these tools, task tools work. So it's like fold, and yeah. So I save it. So to do list now, the work is located in here. So if you finished, you changed the name, you can click on this file name, and you can change the complete status from 0 to 100%. And the task is finished. So we can close the task.
Do you change or
You finish, you try it out now. Is it works?
Yeah.
Can you change it? Yeah. So let's refresh and let's see.
Yes. But I need to change the name.
Yeah, so I see it's completed 100%. Great. And should I put any comments? Okay, I can add comments. Great job. And of course, if we go to all the tools, so if I go to this platform, so like I mentioned, you should make your homework. So I see Valentina did nice job, put the employee, and Dana is missing employer data, photos is okay, nice. So Vilnius Tech is just short name of university. You should put the full name of university, not the short name. And others should follow colleagues' examples and should fix their profiles. Put photos and descriptions, and in all platforms, Clockify, Planary, and Teams, and Autodesk. In Autodesk also you should put your profile here. Okay, let's jump back to the templates. Now I go back, documentation, templates, and in this case I will need to use this for example. Like I mentioned, I will update this template file, and I just click download. I download the file. I go in Revit, I click new, I click browse, and I select the file which I downloaded. And I click open. Click OK. It will be created new project. And now my project will upgrade the model because it's a file from earlier version. So I will comment what you will get if you will use the template which will be provided for your project. If you started your course project on other template, later you can move the data and the results also to the new template or new project. I will try to explain how to do it also. So upgrade process can take some time depending on how many objects are included in your template files. So this upgrade I will do later. And here we have results. So if I go to the sheets, so in the sheets area, I have all the structure of the project. Now it's in Lithuanian language. So as I mentioned, I need to update a little bit project so I can get all these sheet numbers and sheet for your design in English version. If you want to see English version example, you can go to Explorer and you can go to documentation and project examples. Project examples. And in here, documentation. Project examples, literature, BIM library. Okay, it should be in here. Can I filter it out? Okay, I will sort it by size and this is one of the projects from 2017. So this is English project. One of the students did it on different building, but the same logic, the same structure can be adapted for your project. So here we have nice title page, also explanatory notes about building, site plan of the building, first floor architecture, basement plan, architecture first floor plan, architecture second floor plan, architecture roof plan, windows and doors schedule, facade views, structure foundation plan, structure basement plan, structure first floor plan. So in your case, instead of basement plan, you have parking plan, car parking plan, so architecture drawing, also structure drawing, first floor plan, structure first floor slab plan, so precast concrete slabs, roof construction plan, so in your case it should be made from trusses, steel trusses, and structure cross section of the building, details or callouts of the building, and I think, yeah, that's all. So similar structure, similar result should be also from your project. So if I go back to the template, so here is new title block based on new university design. Next part is list of sheets in your project, project explanatory notes. So here you have an explanation of site plan, technical data, architecture information, and so on, and all the foundation, roof. Next part is site plan drawing. Now you see the project is empty. It's like template, so just prepared for your design. And what will happen if I do some modeling part, and I go to the 3D model and I try to create some modeling. So here I have now simple mass object, which let's say represent the building, and I can just say this mass building will be so they will be in your projects, how long your buildings are.
25 to
35 meters, like that. Something like that, yeah. Long building, 35 meters.
75 to 28.
75 meters to 28 meters. And the height of the building?
About 21.
21 meter? Okay, so you see, here is the building. And in this case, I need to move building to center or to the base point of the project. So okay. So it should start from grid lines 1, 0. So here I have this large box representing the building. And now I can just convert this building into additional elements. So I can create, go to mass tools, and I can create facade wall, like curtain wall, create system. I create facade wall, I create additional walls, like glass wall, or I can select the preset walls, the insulation materials. Now I create the roof, select roof construction. And here is my building finished. And now I can create additional levels. So in this case, I need to select mass object, mass floors, create all the floors on my building. Okay, I don't have floors upstairs, but I created some floors. And now what will happen in my buildings? So now I see the corner of my building, so it means I need to update this drawing. So my building will be larger. And my site plan drawing will be also larger. So I need to move this maybe to this part. Also update this part to show all the project. And change the size of my sheet. So in this case, maybe A1 format. Now I have a lot of space to put my building components. Or maybe change the size of A2 format sheet. So it depends from your project. So maybe A1 sheet is a better solution.
And the scale is constant?
So in this case, the scale of the plan is 1 to 200. So I think it's recommended for site plans, this type of this size scale. So also I can change the property. So I just click edit mode, and I have my property lines here. I can move my elevation representation in needed position, and I nicely can go to elevation view, and I see my elevation of my building. And now all the drawings in my project have changed, and I just need to do some modifications by updating the sheet size and so on. And all the things like shadows, title blocks, everything is prepared, and you just need, like you see, building, client, owner, everything is here. You just fill your student information. So building project title, architecture running project, building number and title documents. So all this data you just fill in, and all the information is linked and everything is updated. And the drawings are prepared. So for students, you just need to do some modifications, and you just can say, okay, my project is finished. So in here I see my project, and I can say I would like to print. I click export, create PDF file, and current window, and select all the sheets in the project. Sheets, session. And I say I would like to select all the sheets, check all, select, combine to one PDF file, click print. So for learning purpose, I recommend not to make the architecture model too complicated. Try to make as simple as possible. If you understand the logic, how everything works, know how to do the design and how to prepare documentation, you can put more details later in your project if you want. So first start from just simple box, and later you can implement more details. Of course, architecture teacher maybe will ask to put more details, because if it will be the box like here in this project, so you can see I just spent 10 minutes and my project is finished. So let's see here. So the project is done, and all my documents finished. Yeah. So if you create basic size of your project, update the drawings in your model to represent the model correctly. So it's just 2 clicks and your project is done. If you use basic Revit template, all these drawings is not prepared, and you will need to create text styles according to ISO standard, title block according to national Lithuania standard, also create shadows for calculating materials and other parameters. So a lot of additional work will be needed to do. And here the results are finished. Of course, for learning part, it's good to understand how to do all these modifications and preparations. But I think you need firstly to understand how to create basic design things, and later you can go in more details how to modify sheets, styles, and other things of your project. Okay, so this was a simple example how to use template. So like I mentioned, now we have Lithuanian version. I will update it to English version this week. So during this time, as I understand, you started your projects and have some drafts created in work in progress. So in such case, let's say I want to implement existing model inside my model, so I can just click link Revit model and select Revit model from my location. Let's try to find sample projects. I'm not sure where the sample projects located, so I will just go to home, open, no, file, open, sample projects, and we'll open simple sample project. And I will save it as separate project, and we'll do on my documents, projects, save. So let's say you started it on wrong template and on wrong project. So now you start fresh on this template and you just click insert, Revit link, select your existing project. Of course, select correct insertion point. So in this case, internal origin to internal origin, and I click insert. So model inserted in my project. I click on model, I click bind link, I click import level grids if you created such objects. I click OK. This link is approximately 10 megabytes. Okay, I approve it. I click OK. Unable to bind the selected link. Okay. Yeah, so the link is not binding. I'm not sure why. Just okay. So normally bind should work nicely and it should create the group. Unable to bind selected link. Maybe I need to resave. Load as a group, or we can try to load maybe model as a group. Let's try. Include levels, include grids. The area reinforcement element was not created. Okay. So some parts doesn't let me to create the model. In your case, I think it should work nicely. So you just bind the object and the object will be inside your model and you can continue nicely on existing project. And you will have all the components, all the elements from your project you started to use. Okay, so short introduction, and now let's jump to some additional things based on our planary list. So in planary list, we have instructions how to set project coordinates in the scope. So in this case, I will start a new project and use new template. And till the preparation goes on, I go to the instructions, and in here I have basic things what I need to follow. So it means I need to create grid lines, I need to create levels, I need to create scope boundaries, create like boxes representing my building, my property. I need to set project coordinates and coordinate system, global coordinate system, also reference planes and maybe match lines. I'm not sure about these two components, but in any case, the location of project should be arranged. And next part, arranging the areas. So massing tools, areas, and rooms, and also zones in your building. So all these elements can be done at this stage, week number 4, by using 2D components. So after this upgrade will be done, I will explain. And from Trimble Connect, you should go to Explorer, you should go to documentation, and in here we have topography. So you should download the topography files, which represent real situation of your project. So I will download it separately, so I don't need to unzip. Now I open Civil 3D. This is AutoCAD with some additional functions, especially created for civil engineering structures, roads, bridges, and ground works. Okay, so my upgrade was done, and I will close old project and in new project. Okay, Civil is creating a new file. So in here, I need to go to manage and locations. So in locations area, I should see which coordinate system is used. So based on these numbers, I should check if the coordinate system is according to the planary. So I go to the planary, to the plan. And in the plan area, I should look for coordinate system, project coordinates, and I should check if my coordinates of my project are correctly assigned. Okay, project location. So I look latitude 5972 7072 70. Okay, seems similar location. Now longitude is 2505541. Okay, so numbers are close to the numbers provided here, so maybe additional correction should be done, but approximately location is in correct position. Now in here, I just open 3D model, which I downloaded. So now 3D model represents the real location and real situation of our project. And it has special option, geolocation. And in geolocation, I can click and show map. Yes, turn on map data. and it takes a little bit time and should grab the data from the map.
These are countries, right? This is country, right?
Yes, yes, the ground shape. And in my project, I should go to the site plan. So site plan, and in the site plan, I will need to put my project location in here. Okay, so here you can see the map and the location of the project is near Vilnius. So Vilnius is located here. So our university is this location here. So we are setting something in this location. And the project is in here. So we have nice property, and in this property we have our project. So I will turn off the shape, and here we have all the measurement points. We have 3D model of our property. So if I hide this hide selected object, okay, maybe it's blocked by properties, locked. Okay, 0. Not sure why it's not. Okay, so here we have 3D model of the ground with all the lines and points and 3D shapes. And in this program, we can check out the settings. And here we have Lithuania coordinate system, meters. So it means if I want to link the object and coordinates into my project, I should change length also to meters. 3 symbols after decimal. So now my units are in meters, and I have this drawing also in meters. So this point is my survey point. So this point represents survey point of the project. And for each student work, we have additional So in this drawing, it's 2D drawing with also all this, the same information. So project and site point. So it means here are the survey point for all the students. This point is the same. And for each of student works, depending on student number, 0, 3, 23, the base point of the project starts here. So it means it's cross-section of grid lines 1 and 8. So in this case, for each student, we will have a different representation, different location of the project. So it can start from this point, from this, and depending on the property. And also project rotation, if the project starts from this point and it goes long, it goes outside our data, so you should rotate the project to put it inside this property. Now, how to link this data with Revit application and how to link the coordinate system. So for this task, we go to Toolbox, and in Toolbox, we should have additional tools, Shear Reference Point, and export XML file for Revit to create shared coordinates. So I double tap on this command and I read instructions. Select origin point. So my origin point will be, in this case, origin point. So for each student, origin point will be I think, different. But in this case, origin point will be survey point. I select this point. Now select a point on Y-axis. So I go and select any point here. And now the program creates location, X, Y coordinates, but Z coordinate is not assigned. So it means the height of the project is in the wrong position. So it means this file should be created not on 2D, but on 3D model. So I go to 3D model and we'll try to repeat the same task here. Okay. Okay. And now I can see Z coordinate is also presented, X coordinate, Y coordinate, and Z coordinate. Location is in meters. I click OK. I select where to save, so it will be in my projects. And documentations. And in documentations, I have topography, so I put it in topography. I click Save. I go back in Revit. I click Add-ins, import shared coordinates from XML file, and now select origin point. So I select my origin point, select on Y-axis up, and I go to projects, documentation, select this point, select open. Are you sure to create new shared coordinate? Yes. I click OK. And if I click on this point, I should see the same dimensions as in the main program. So if I select this point, so I see 17862, 17862, 17862, 568. Okay, should be the same. Okay, is 05174 7945. The Z coordinate is correct, and the X, Y coordinates is a little bit different. Why? Okay, the workflow should be like that, and of course double checking the numbers in this table should be the same in this location also. Also, I should double check here. Yep. Yeah, so these numbers should be the same on this location. Maybe I grabbed the wrong point on my civil project. But in any case, after I do this modification, I can just click Insert, Link CAD drawing, and I can select 3D drawing, and I can select Origin to Origin by shared coordinates, I think. Select the ground level, and click Open. And it should jump inside my project. Now, in putting AutoCAD, you can see it moves object up because the main some elements are drawn on this location. So I get this position. So in this case, for 3D DVG, I need to move it down by the same size I have in my coordinate system. So if I go back here in 3D model, So minus 5384. So minus this number. Okay. And now my center point or survey point of my project is in correct position. Also, I can double check and insert another one. So 2D drawing, also use shared coordinates, use the same location and click open, and it also should jump in the same location. Yeah, so 2D drawing jumped in also in the same location, so I have nice representation of my project location. Now I can create the ground of my project, so I go to massing and site tools, select top surface. Also go to here, select import instance. I select 3D model. From 3D model, I select triangulation, click OK, and program creates top surface of my project. Now I have nice top surface of my ground. If I go to the topography part, I can turn off triangulation part, and here I have nice ground representation. If I turn on realistic view, so I will see the grass on my project. And if I go to the top view, so comparing to the map, if I move it to the side, and I select this view, so orientation of the project ground is in correct position. Now I just need to build the building and rotate the building based on my north-south location. So after you start new project, you should first jump and begin from location. After you set location from a civil program, you can import ground representation, and you can create top surface of your project. And now when you have top surface, you can create other components in this location. So in this case, if we go back to the plenary and the list of tasks which we need to do, week number 4. So now I just set the project coordinates and global coordinates based on my civil 3D drawings. Levels and grid lines should be set based on your project. Scope boxes or scope boundaries should be also set in views. And in here we have scope box tool. And in site plan view, if I go to site plan view, browse, user interface, turn on properties, turn off cropping, and in here I can create scope boxes on my buildings, and these scope boxes will represent location in which my buildings will be located. I can rotate scope box based on my needs, and this box will help me to crop my drawings and my design, so I have nice representation of my project in my drawings and so on. And these scope boxes can be created for building zones, building parts, for all building, for all the territory, and so on. So several scope boxes can be created in your project. But before creating final version, like I showed now, you just need to understand what scope boundaries you will use, what distance between levels, grid lines will be used in your project. So for sketching the design, and before jumping to realizing it in the 3D model, I recommend to go to drafting view, select scale 1 to 1, or let's say scale 1 to 200. And in this simple drawing space, go to annotation tools and select drawing tools and say, this will be my building. I select center line. So this will be my grid lines of my building. So you put nicely grid lines. And it's a sketch of your task, what you will need to do. So next is my property boundary lines. So in this case, I select ISO standard for my center lines. So in this case, long dash, triple dot, dot line, center line, I think it's suitable. So my property will be like this one. And in here, I will have some sidewalks around. So for sidewalks, I will choose simple continuous line. The thickness is 0.25 millimeters, and you create sideline sidewalks. This will be sidewalk, and here will be the main road, and you create the design concept. Here will be, let's say, additional buildings around my project if it's needed. Maybe car parking can be here, car parking, and you can create, let's say this will be my cars, and you can create cars. So it means you just create draft of your project, and later you can use this to to create other components. So later I can select all this draft and click Control Copy, go to my property, Control V, and all this draft can be moved to the needed position. And all these dash line, grid lines can be converted to components from architecture tools. I need grid lines. I select converting tool, and here automatically I create grid lines from my project design. And now I have representation of lines of my buildings. So I just go and select the tools. I want property lines, so I create sketch of my property lines, and I can sketch it based on lines which I created in drafting view. So drafting phase is this part here. Now zoning and areas, room areas and other elements also, you can create additional 2D representation of your building, or maybe other floors of your building. And in here you can create, this will be the staircase, this will be, let's say, elevator, this will be the main rooms, also other room parts, and just divide your project into smaller areas and zones. And later, all of these zoning can be converted to real zones by using tools from here. You can create rooms, room separators. In Analyze tool, also you can select additional tools, but I don't see them here, which can help you to create zones for your building. And this one is like AutoCAD modeling space. and you can put dimensions, temporary dimensions, like this ones. So 0.8 meters, and I can say it's 1 meter or 25 meters and so on. So let's say now this is very small drawing, so I just select, choose scale, and scale it by 50 times. Let's say my distance between my grid lines should be 6 meters, so I scale it. So this one should be 6 meters. And now I have 6 meters here. And my size of all the draft increased, and I can do additional components. Can I change scale? So automatically view template will be assigned. So I should turn off the view template, and I can change it to 200. And here I have nice representation of my lines, and I can easily do all the draft changes, drawings, and so on. Okay, so zoning, coordinate system should be organized like this one. And next week we will put additional details, and later we will jump to road and other components and how to make the drawing. So what is the progress on your course project? What is the status? You have your building? Saved?
Plan also parking underground.
So you practically did all the things what I planned for.
Without the location.
Okay, so you did foundations? No?
No, foundation next week. They are going to.
Okay, so you are a little bit far away, because creating walls or something like that, it was week number 8, according to this plan. So you are advancing more faster in this project.
I think we created it's just the placement of like place where walls should be.
Yep.
It's not given any too many properties in it.
Okay, so you just created the representation. If I go to walls, you see walls. So you are now in week number 8, and here we have walls like simple 2D representation. Maybe you created the walls like a simple representation of wall location. Yeah, so practically based on your explanation, you are on week number 9 with some objects like walls. So in this case, in your so it's practically done. Yeah. So in this case,
Yeah, but without location and the roof structure also didn't study.
So you will finish it in 2 weeks. Okay, so how to synchronize the data, what we have in Planary and what you have in your project. So I see you are quite advancing. So you just look which components you have in your project. So let's say if you have grid lines and other parts like levels, so you can check these parts like done. It's, let's say, done. You can listen to my videos. I provide some tips and recommendations how to do it better, or how to do it according to international standards. So you should adapt it also on your project. So all these things, what I mentioned here today, you can update your existing model and just tweak, put location, create drafting view and just try to use simple drawing tools to draw it like you did maybe in AutoCAD or something like that. Just try to simulate the drawing part, so it will not damage your main model. It creates additional view and it will accomplish your project because you will try all the phases and all the parts. Okay. And yeah, so I think you will run much faster through the project with the other teacher. So in our class, we will try to put more details, maybe fix some technical errors in your project. And in the end of semester, you will have nice project with all the BIM related stuff and also nice design of your architecture part. So I think, like I showed this lecture, after I will put the template, if you put your project in this template, practically you will have the list of your drawings and you just need to tweak some pages, and I think it will also help you to do the project faster. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
So for today, that's all.